He's a real mahjong master. He plays 3 tables at once. You'd think he'd be overwhelmed. Look at him. He ate at the first table. Touched at the second. The third table directly self-drawn, all colors powerful as hell. His name is Fanny. He's not an ordinary housewife. She's the 7th disciple of the Hong Kong mahjong master. He's known as the Queen of Self-Drawn, but he married a long time ago. But her husband didn't like her playing mahjong. He had to retire from the game. Occasionally, he sneaks out to play with his neighbors. Fanny thought that she had to give up. She thought she could bring harmony to her family. Until the day her husband came home with a woman. It was the sister of his boss. She wanted to play mahjong with her. Whoever loses will be forbidden to see this man for the rest of his life. Cannot see this man. Of course, Fanny wasn't afraid. They agreed to play 2-player mahjong. There are only 2 colors. It's not easy to cheat. Fanny saw that the player's hand was not bad. He was sure of himself. He counted the tiles carefully, but he didn't realize the woman knew exactly the cards in the hand of Fanny. It turns out he's the pupil of a Japanese mahjong master. He can memorize the positions of the entire mahjong set, and he had already planned it out. No matter which card she held, she would lose. Fun slowly shed 2 lines of tears. Now he has lost his face. Not only has he lost his manhood, he's also lost his honor. The woman left in triumph. She left the 2 fat girls to beat up Fanny. Luckily, he escaped. Fanny finally broke down. She went to her brother and cried. She didn't want to live without her husband. At that moment, his sisters from the same school came to him. They advised him to be happy in poker. When she heard about mahjong, she attracted his attention. In order to heal his wounds, Fun began to play mahjong day and night. But he did not expect. Originally crushed the neighbors of the recreational game. He could lose 10 days and nights in a row. The more he played, the more frustrated he became. The more he played, the more he lost. Finally, he got his first game. Fun was so happy that he laughed wildly. But when he looked at it, it was a blowout. Now he, the Queen of Self-Touch, has lost the ability to draw for herself. Fun walked home in a state of despair. She fell into a concrete pit. His body was covered in cement. Finally, he was broken. He went to the rooftop and was about to give up on himself. He heard the sound of mahjong. Fanny followed the sound and saw the master was playing mahjong on the rooftop, and there were 3 players missing. Under the master's persuasion, Fanny decided to follow the master to train well, to win back her dignity and status. This woman had a piece of mahjong in her fingers. She turned her wrist and threw it. It went right through the board. He's not practicing any martial arts. It's the mahjong Bible. The key to victory in mahjong. He is the 7th disciple of Hong Kong's mahjong master, Xu Fan. He's known as the Queen of Self-Touch. But recently he lost a game of mahjong. Her husband lost his face. In order to win back his position in the world, Fanny found a master to rebuild her skills. The first step in training is to train your mind. When you're unlucky, your mind is unstable. The more you try to win, the more you lose. As expected, when Xu Fan asked for 80,000, she drew 390,000 cards in a row. Xu Fan gave up. The master taught him that the only way to change his bad luck is to keep a steady mind. The only way to change his bad luck is to be determined to win. But he must not be greedy and try to make a big hand to turn his luck around. Fanny understood. This time, Xu Fan's luck really improved. Facing the temptation of making a big hand, he resisted. Finally, he won the first game. Fun is getting more and more confident. The second step was to practice his eyesight. Sister took out a miniature mahjong tile. She asked Fun to tell her what the face of the tile was. How can this be possible? Sister told him that as long as he practiced his eyesight. She told him that if he practiced his eyesight, he would be able to recognize other people's tiles by using all the reflections. Fun stared at the accessories on her chest. She saw the round barrel, but that wasn't enough. He continued to concentrate and look again. The picture of the accessories became bigger and clearer in his eyes. Finally, he could see that it was 7 buckets. He's done it. He's done it. He's done it. The third step is to train his hand. A true mahjong master will mark their own sweat stains on the board. The game that Fanny lost to a woman. The woman had already marked the cards when she shuffled them. That's why she knew all of Fanny's cards. And the only way to break it is to shake off the sweat stains when shuffling the cards. This requires practice. Sister demonstrated. Fanny followed her example, but he tried several times. But it didn't work. She told him, concentrate your strength at one point. One blow will break it. Fun concentrated on turning his wrist and threw it with force. Finally, He succeeded. The last step is willpower. The upcoming Sage Mahjong tournament. There will be Mahjong players from all over the world. And Fun wants to beat the women. To redeem her lost face, she must have strong willpower to withstand the pressure and overcome the challenges before she can face the woman in the final. In order to help Fanny take revenge, Master sent his sister and 3 others to help him. Soon the match began. This is an international Mahjong tournament. There are top players from Japan, Italy and the United States, and Fun is the favorite to win. In addition, there is also a big man, and the woman who won his husband. The woman who won his husband with a game of mahjong. In the semi-finals, Fanny's opponents are triplets. They were all in sync. They were feeding each other cards as if they were in sync. She couldn't beat them all. Luckily, Sister came quickly. She reminded him that he couldn't break through from the outside, then let them become disliked. Fanny thought of a way. Start praising the triplets separately to make them feel special. The triplets really got the wrong idea. When their hearts are confused, they don't get along anymore. Fun took advantage of the confusion to advance to the finals. As expected, the big man and the woman appeared together, and Fanny's brother. In order to win, the woman's brother bribed Big Brother and the woman to play together. Then he got a high-tech mahjong table. You only need to wear specific glasses to see through all the cards, and you can zoom in and out with your watch. The next day, the finals began. The woman immediately used high-tech. After seeing Fanny's cards, he quietly put his hand on the table and made a gesture. The big man immediately understood. He played the card that the woman wanted. The woman won the first game, but the woman couldn't help showing off her victory. She had all the cards she wanted. This made Fanny suspicious of the glasses. He found out that they were using sweat stains to match. He used the hand strength taught by his master. He used the force of his master's hand to sabotage their plan, but he accidentally exerted too much force. The mahjong bounced and broke the woman's glasses. It was a double whammy. The breakage caused the see-through function to malfunction. The game was finally fair, and Fun also remembered the master's advice. Keep your mind steady and don't be greedy for big cards. Finally won his first game. The battle between the 2 women has officially begun. Soon a new deck was delivered to the women. The game has come to an end. The last game, the woman bet with Fanny again. If Fanny wins, she will kneel down and apologize and return her husband to her. If Fanny loses, she would cut off her finger and quit mahjong forever. Fine. Fanny accepted the challenge, although the score is behind the woman, but she is not afraid. This is the moment of truth. Unexpectedly, Fanny's hand was very bad. According to the rules, he can't hold any more cards and has to rely on his own touch. And Fun had already lost the ability to draw. The chances of her winning are even slimmer. The game is getting hotter and hotter. Fun stabilized his mind. She started to block the woman's view with a different way of placing her cards, then decided to give it a go. If you're going to do it with the biggest 13 youngest. With the determination to win, the cards he wanted were dealt one by one. At this point, everyone is listening to the cards. It's all about who's going to draw first. Fanny was very nervous. He closed his eyes and touched his hand. It's the last card of the North Wind. Fan finally drew his own card. He held up the North Wind and screamed at the top of his lungs. The self-drawn Queen of Heaven has returned, and the multiplier of the 13th Mississippi has made him a winner. Fanny glares at the woman. The woman is furious and wants to run away. How could she let him go? A piece of mahjong accurately hit the woman's leg. He immediately fell to his knees, but the woman refused to give up. He took out a knife from his bag and planned to attack Fanny. He was discovered by his sister. Another mahjong knocked him down. Fanny was furious. She rushed over and kicked him away. After the match, her ex-husband came after her. According to the bet, he was returned to Fanny. The ex-husband wanted to go back to the beginning, but Fanny was never the same. He punished him with a soul-stealing pinch. He punished him severely, and then he walked out of here alone and beautiful. When it's time to fold, fold. Don't give up the joy of being free. Don't give up the joy of being free. Finally, I wish you all a great fortune.